Hello, hello, and welcome to another live broadcast from the Nococon secret headquarters. I am Ember, one of the co-directors of the North Country Comic Con. We created this show to give you a taste of some of the amazing things coming to Watertown this June. Joining me today are the mysterious representatives of the Museum of Intrigue. Hello, hello.
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 It's good to see you guys again. It's we're only a few days away from NocoCon now, and things are getting pretty exciting, pretty interesting. And yet, despite all the hype and hubbub, the Museum of Intrigue's role in the convention has remained rather mysterious.
We do that to keep the suspense and intrigue.
Indeed, indeed. So, for anybody who isn't familiar with the Museum of Intrigue, what is it and what do you do?
The Museum of Intrigue is a place where you come solve a mystery. If you're familiar with puzzle games, escape rooms, adventure games, etc., we are a location in Syracuse where you come into a fictional museum and try to complete a task on the behalf of the staff. You might get rid of a ghost or solve a murder, and everything is very hands-on and involves live characters. So it's a little bit of Scooby-Doo, a little bit of Ren Fair, a whole lot of interesting shenanigans all around.
Very cool. And having been myself, I can vouch for the fact that it is a very fun time. Always different, always something intriguing.
Yes. Now you're
So, yeah. How did the Museum of Intrigue get started?
The original Museum of Intrigue came out of an escape room company here in Syracuse, but we wanted to do something more inclusive. So we got rid of the timers and we got rid of the locked doors. Here you're roaming an open world in order to solve your mysteries at your own pace. We mixed in characters from our background work in immersive theater and haunted houses and worked from there. And we are coming up on our 6th anniversary this year of being open, having survived quite a bit of tribulation and turmoil. And you can actually find games like ours all over the country.
Ah, yes, you're branching out or franchising, you might say.
It depends on how you look at it, but if you're in the right state at the right business, you'll actually find a game that looks a lot like what we do here. And it's usually because, well, it's our fault.
Very cool. That's another excellent way to grow, especially when during a time when physical in-person stuff was a little difficult to do.
Mhm.
Yes. So obviously everybody there is a very creative person, and well, you know, whether it's game design or whether it's improv acting or um, audience involvement, there's some form of artistic expression going on. How do you guys keep things running? Partly to avoid burnout and partly to blend all the disparate personalities together.
So, how we keep things running. So, going back to that improv and the creativity, you have to have a lot of that yes and energy and being willing to go with the flow. So, we do a lot of that and a lot of leaning on each other and delegating and making sure we do a lot of strength based stuff. So, like, for instance, I'm a game designer and actor here. That's built on my strengths. I might also help a little bit on the marketing team. John, I don't know if you want to say, like, what
Lots
you
of game design, all game design all day, all the time.
Yeah.
But my observation is it's always a matter of trying to take into account what the players are finding the most fun. I mean, it is their adventure. And for those of you listening, hopefully your adventure if you come visit us. Because if you lean into the puzzles, let's say, it is our job to make sure that you get the opportunity to challenge yourself and challenge your mind and feel accomplished with what you're doing without pushing you along or holding your hand too much. But just as much, people come in and enjoy just spending time with our characters. Like there are days in which I meet people in which I feel like it's like a play date. Like, I mean, we're adults, but like you still get to have that sense of riff energy and having fun and just building on things and finding what people like. And we get people coming back again and again and find ourselves connecting with what they want out of the experience.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, and I think adults should do play dates more often, but that's a whole other topic
Well, yeah.
entirely.
Well, you mentioned burnout, and I'm like, I know I know we do a lot here to avoid burnout because we just like it's a fun place to work, but I think a lot of people view our space as an escape because like we have haunts here. We have people that come from upstate medical university where it's a very stressful environment to be working there, and they play like our haunt games, which I mean, I find the haunts stressful, but I guess if you've seen everything at upstate, our haunts in the park compared to what they go through.
Yeah. And I mean, in terms of working here, avoiding burnout and working with other people, the buy-in is genuine.
Mhm.
Working with other creative people is 100% about learning how to say ours, not mine.
Mhm.
And feeling like just because Jess and I, for example, might make a game, doesn't mean it's just our game. The people who work here have to perform it and the players have to play it. And it is ultimately the magic comes from that collective experience and knowing that you have to share, and you'll share in the mistakes and you'll share in the successes. And you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself to be perfect. Perfection comes from everyone working together and being enthusiastic.
Mhm.
It's not your job to force someone to have fun. They have to be open to it as well.
Yeah, exactly. We're a pretty collaborative space, and usually, if our name is on something, chances are we've already like collaborated with some other like artist or company or entity because we're have that same mindset of it's our project kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. And there's pluses to that sort of thing as well, as we've noted in previous episodes and in personal conversations, that when you combine the powers of multiple creative individuals, particularly ones with a lot of background knowledge, you can create something much greater than any single individual could on their own.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So, leaning into Nococon, Jono, you mentioned game design. Of course, you're going to be participating in one of the panels, the game design workshop. Do you have anything particular in mind for that, or just kind of see how it goes, interact with the other panelists?
I mean, I'll see how it goes, right? I do like talk about game design. I think some people in my life might be a little sick of it at moments, but I'll talk about game design all day. I guess the trick is trying to get an opportunity to meet some of the people at the con before the panel, especially if anyone's planning to come to that talk. I'd love to meet you at our Intrigue booth before the panel so I could get to know why game design interests you. There are a lot of lessons that are universal across different disciplines of game design, but there's a lot of excellent stuff that's more specific and I think more functional, especially if you're trying to break into game design or break into an industry like role playing or tabletop. There's so much information that you can't possibly fit into one little event. But can I try to understand who I'm talking to is going to be actually the thing I look most forward to.
For sure. And then, as for the museum in general, what does Intrigue and Company have in store for Nococon?
For the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole entire thing. Well, that we're keeping very secret and under wraps because there's going to be a few people that might not be knowing they're playing it. So we want to keep that part in there because we do specialize in immersive design. So in order for sometimes to generate that buy-in, you have to have a slow leak of information.
Okay. So it'll stay mysterious. People have to come and find out.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of coming, of course people should come see you at Nococon. But until then, where can people find you?
We're located at Destiny USA on the 3rd floor. When people see us, we tell them to park near the Cheesecake Factory entrance because it's the best beeline to get to us.
Yeah, you're not required to go to Cheesecake Factory
Don't
to come
do that.
here.
Yeah, park by that.
We're up on the 3rd floor by the IMAX. Come here. One of us is almost always here doing game design stuff, so you can come play a game, do an adventure, etc. But also ask, are any of the game designers here? Because if you're planning to come to Nococon and you're interested in game design, you're interested in immersive theater, improv, creating even in a small way in your own life stuff like what we do, we'd love to meet you. So come meet us.
Fabulous. And for anybody who's not around the Syracuse area, do you have any online stuff to send people to?
Yes, both of us work as part of a game design collective called DVC Games, which is at the very convenient dvc.games. So you can go ahead and find out about our collaborative collective there, as well as kind of our collective resume of what we do and projects that we're working on outside of Intrigue.
All right. Very cool. I am super excited. We're less than 2 weeks away now. 10 days, I think.
Yep.
So, yeah, it won't be long till showtime.
Awesome. We're very excited.
It should be fantastic. At least I think so. I'm probably biased though. Well, Justin, Jono, thank you guys so much for joining us today, and it was lovely talking to you, and we'll see you soon.
Great to see you again.
Thank you, Amber.
Set a course for our YouTube channel for interviews with more guests and featured creators bringing the epic to Watertown.